Welcome to Plays and Parlays. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Mike P. and Louisiana T. We're going to give y'all a little bit of news for the day. We're going to start off with you, Mike. We're talking about Travis Hunter's wedding. I love Travis Hunter. I'm a big Travis Hunter fan, and I'm even happy for him to have found love and be in a situation where he's happy. That's what really matters. Everyone has a lot to say out of background noise. But I know, there's been some new revelations coming up as far as like things that possibly happened at the wedding. I don't know how big it was. I chose not to watch it fully. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm like, I don't want to see this for him again. I think it put him through some mental kind of anguish during that time. It would have put any of us through that. But Mike, what's your take on the Travis Hunter situation with his wedding?
All right, with the wedding, I'm not against marriage. I'm actually for it, you know what I mean? Some people is meant for it, some people ain't. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Him trying to do it, I can understand it and I can get it. But as far as going so soon with it, I don't think it was something that was pretty smart. I feel like he leading with his heart, not his head. You know what I mean? He's not really thinking about a lot of things. He's not really seeing the stuff that he sees, and it's kind of understandable. You know what I mean? We've all went through a phase of having our first girlfriend and our first love or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean, where we're blind to the fact that we don't want to believe it, and we sit there and go through it until we really can't, you know what I mean? And
absolutely,
that's where he's at right now, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't see past these things. The biggest red flag for me will always be you accepting her, and I understand that, you know what I mean, but this girl is going to parties doing God knows what, and you sitting outside, basically just sitting out there letting that happen. You know what I mean? Like, you sat here and went through these things to show your love and confess your love, but in reality, what is she doing? You know what I mean? The things that's going on as far as like the social media.
Let me say something real quick, just before, not to cut you off. I know you're on the roll right now.
Yeah.
You think that her going into parties and him staying out, he's not a partier. So I kind of can understand that, because you don't want to make a person live your life. You're like, right. He's not angry. He's like, you know what? You want to go party, hang out, go ahead. I'll chill. I'm not going to go to the party. I'll drop you off. I'll go to, you know what I mean? I'm going to do this. But that's him. I'm not saying anyone else would do that. That's how he feels. He's not a partier. He's not a drinker. He doesn't do any of that stuff. But he doesn't want to stop her. He loved her enough to say, you go live your life. You can go hang out and do what you do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna live my life and do things how I do things.
That's
valid.
That's
just my personal.
Sure.
Keep going.
Keep
going.
That's definitely valid. But how long would that last? You know what I mean? You're with somebody and you're together with somebody because y'all are alike in certain things.
In certain areas.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Y'all can be different with certain things, but something like that to that type of thing is not gonna last. You know what I mean? I can't be living like this and you live like this, and then we're supposed to be together and married at this now. This ain't gonna last that long. You know what I'm saying? You got two different lifestyles, and he has a name to rep now. You know what I mean? This is what she likes. She liked the fun. She liked the thrill. That type of stuff is gonna get you caught up. You know what I mean? I get he does more for her than she does for him. You know what I'm saying? Everything that happens, like even on draft day when she bought him the Rolex, that was his bread. You know what I mean? Like, in reality, you bought yourself the Rolex.
You think that was his money? You think that was his money?
That was his money.
Sure? I think she might, because you know that she had a college degree. Like before she even, like, you know what I mean? Before she even met him, she got a college degree. I think her parents might have a couple dollars. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what she does for a living or what her degree was in.
She probably does.
You know what I mean? I know that she had graduation pay. I know that she had I know that for a fact. But
I'm confident that was Travis's money though.
Woo,
Travis is the person that's going to make sure she's straight. His money is her money.
You know what he said though? But you know what he said though? Honestly, this makes me think that it wasn't his money. He said, I'm not buying you nothing that expensive when it's my turn to buy you something. So that almost says to me, like, don't expect that from me, because people shouldn't expect these kind of big gifts. So that almost says to me, this possibly may have not been his money. Because if it's my money, then I've already, you feel what I'm saying? You already spent my money on this.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it is his money, maybe it's not. But I'm just like, it's difficult for me to say they had joint accounts and she went ahead and bought him a Rolex with his own money. That's crazy to me. That would be.
I wouldn't even say a joint account. This could be all of these stuff, all the stuff that we see here and we look at our social media. 90% of what we see on social media was talked about before it happens. You know what I'm saying? So there's a chance. I'm not saying that this is true. You know what I mean? This is just my opinion that this could have been talked about for it to think about it. They talking about this man, girl, the whole time. When you talk about Travis Hunter, you talk about the versatile player that he is, but then right next to it is who his girl is and how he's a simp and all of this and that. And then as soon as that's all happening and pushing for the draft, she comes out and she gives this man a Rolex. You know what I'm saying? To try to show she's doing something. You get what I mean? I feel like all of that was planned. You know, your agent is fired.
Honestly, but you look at it like this. Honestly, if you got any kind of a decent job, if she's got any kind of decent income, you can go get a Rolex. You don't have to buy it out cash. You can use credit. There's lots of ways you can go get it. You know what I mean? Like she could be paying for. We don't know. I don't know what her monetary. This is not me going against your argument about it. I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying.
It wasn't like she went and got him. When he got her just now the G-Wagon. I think he got her the G-Wagon, didn't he? For their wedding gift. That's probably like, you know what I mean? That was a hell of a gift right there. That's cost some bread right there. A little different.
Think about what you just said too. He also said, I'm not gonna spend this much money on you, but did that as soon as he got the chance to. You know what I'm saying? So gift, you know what I mean? Like
he about to get that big, he about to get that big money right now.
He got that big money, but so is she. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? It could be detrimental or it could be a beautiful thing to be able to see him be able to go through all this, and then they last for 20, 30 years, whatever the case may be. But it's also going to be something that's going to probably change.
The odds are probably not forever in that kind of favor right there. But so T, what's your take on the situation now that you've been listening to the banter about it? What do you think? I know that there was a possibility. I'm gonna come back to you, Mike, on this one too. But T, there's a possibility that he did not get a prenup on this situation.
Well, that's not smart. All right, and I think coming from a Dion-led situation, that it would be odd if he didn't get that done. I would be very shocked, to be honest with you, because I don't. Dion treats him like a son, man. So I just don't see that happening. But to her, listen, I don't see it lasting long either, just because of all this. I would love it to, but isn't this his first girlfriend or something? Basically, so I mean, the dude's in love, right? Until he gets to that next one. We've all been through this. All right, dude doesn't know what heartbreak looks like, anything like that yet. So he's going to go through the ringer the first couple of years. Plus, you go look at past drafts. Okay, that's all you have to do in this situation, and you can look at all the couch, videos and stuff of people getting drafted next to their little honeys, right? Where the girl's thinking they just picked up a bag, and they're looking at like Russell Wilson's ex. That was hilarious during draft day, man. She looked up at him like, yeah, we did it kind of thing, She was gone pretty soon, right? So like I said, normally those draft day girlfriends are not the same ones that you see later because it's not, I just don't see it lasting. I really don't, man.
And then you kind of also look at it from a perspective of this right here. I know that he had a couple different issues. Like he had the one where he went up to her to hug her on the field after the game, and she kind of like what an attitude there. Then they had the one incident where he was signing autographs or something that they perceived to be something else that it may or may not have been. But when she's even admitted that she has an attitude. She's like, I have an attitude, this, that, and third. Okay, you got an attitude. With little things like this, what do you think is about to happen now? Travis is about to get $60 million or something ridiculous that he's going to get. The 40, 60 million, so much guaranteed. You know what I mean? Now he's going to have action at everything in the world is going to be in his face.
He loves to party too, right?
She already shows that sense of being self-centered. Everything has to revolve around her.
Let me bring this up too, because I'm not sure what, and this was, so I mean, this situation here, man, I'm hoping and praying for the guy because I know how this could turn out. It could turn out good or bad. I mean, most people you're going to be, I tell everybody, you're like an 85, everyone's an 85%er. If 85% of people say something's not going to happen this way, they got forever to be right. So, I mean, and 15% are going to say it's going to be another way. It's going to be the hard way to do things. And sometimes, and they have a very short period of time to kind of prove that they're right, because forever is a long time. So it is what it is. We'll see how this turns out. I hope that he got a prenup. You know what I mean? That's a big thing right there. You think he got one, Mike?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, if we go off of what T saying, of him following Dion as the father figure, because that's what he calls him all the time. You know what I mean? If he follows what he's saying, then yeah. But I'm looking at the reality of it. Like I said, we've all been through this. How many times did our parents or somebody of that stature tell us this ain't the right one and this and that? Man, you lying. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to hear that right
that's
now.
So
you know
true.
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's so
I'm
true.
gonna do what I do. Absolutely. There's a chance that he's he doesn't seem like a person. He seems like a person who listens. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to somebody that's in love, that's where it all changes. You know what I mean?
Well, they had that one woman come into I can't remember who it was that came in and did a presentation.
Brittany Renner.
She came in there and was basically like, "Hey, get prenups, do all this, don't be stupid, don't follow this type of woman." So I feel like the players that go that route and go under leadership systems like that typically learn how to go through with stuff like this, right? And so it kind of gets them ready. So I'm hoping it got him ready. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I hope he is ready too. He's living the traditional life that
Yes.
we're brought up to learn. You know what I mean? You get married, you live this type of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like certain things as far as him is just like, you know, he's more of he's I wouldn't say living for it because he's doing his own thing, but everything he does is kind of like for her. If she needs to have it done, she's self-centered. You know what I mean? If she can't get it, it's her way or no way. You know what I mean? Like whether she's the breadwinner or not, that's just how it's given off. I'm on the outside looking in, so I don't know for sure. But everything from the past, since it's been blown up till now, this is all for her and for the betterment to make sure that she's all right. That happy wife, happy lifestyle. But some stuff you don't need to be doing. You know what I mean?
He seems like such a nice and humble kid too. You know, he's such a nice, humble young man and well-mannered and everything. So it's like, it is very possible for somebody like that to kind of get taken advantage of because they turn out to be pretty gullible or whatever the case is. Those are typically the easier ones to do that to, based off of history, right? So
for sure.
I could see it, but I'm just hoping not. I'm hoping not, man, because I feel like he's going to be such a good player in the league. I just think that could really ruin some things. I hope it goes well.
You know what I mean? She needs to be able to understand the new rules to this. You're not in high school no more. You're not in college no more. No. This is a professional player and one of the biggest right now that's going to be the money maker and everything. You cannot be out in clubs getting drunk and doing something crazy because somebody's going to be right there recording you and it's going to drop by the time you wake up the next morning.
Yep. What I will say on her defense, though, I haven't seen anything new from her. We haven't seen anything new. We haven't seen anything since they've been together that I know
since the wedding.
Or even since new, like I don't even think any of that stuff that they showed about her, that was all pre-Travis. And from my perspective, I guess he had like cheated on her or something that happened. I don't know. I think Travis's dad is, you know, or he cheated on it. No, I think this ain't even his first girlfriend because I think he cheated on his previous girlfriend, and that's how he hooked up with her because he was with a girl. I think this is the story. I think he was with a girl at the time, and he tried to talk to her, and she was like, "No, you're in a relationship. I ain't talking to you." You know what I mean? And that's what happened, I think. So Travis, he has some, you know what I mean, some baggage of his own that might lead to.
I think I know what you're talking about. I actually remember that.
Yeah, him forcing
the body language when I see those two around each other is crazy though, because like you were saying, you brought up something about how like she went around him after a game or something in college, right? And he went to touch her or hug her or whatever, and he kind of
it looked like the cheerleaders were all around him, whatever. And she was like kind of rolled her eyes, was like, you know, she's jealous. She's jealous. Travis he's gonna be, even though he wasn't probably, you know, he wasn't the best, you know what I mean, looking dude in the world to her back in the day. Right. He about to go ahead and get this money. That's changing everything. All the women think Travis look great right now. You know what I mean? He's every woman's dream boat at this point in time. When the check come in, that's how it goes. And so I think that she's going to have an issue with that. But like I said, people have past. Everyone has a past. If he forgave her for it, who are we not to at the end of the day?
I just think there are rules that are way different that she's going to have to get used to at that point.
They're
if
young.
you're going to be a wife of an NFL player, that's a whole different game than other stuff.
Yeah, it's the fame. They already choosing. They're already learning from it in college, but at the end of the day, they're still quote unquote kids. They're in college. You know what I mean? You're still gonna do some things, but now that's over with. So I get it. That's why I'm saying the wedding and everything. I'm not gonna say that's all just for publicity. They clearly love each other. They've been with each other, you know what I mean, for a long time. But that's all to get this narrative out the way as best as they can. It's not gonna change a lot because there's gonna still people that's gonna be feeling this and talking. There's still people that still talk about Kobe doing what he did back a long time ago, the stuff he went through. You know what I mean? It's not going to change forever, but it's something that's going to be able to better them. And as long as they could stand on it and do the right things, or if they is doing something, keep it behind closed doors for it not to be in the open, they'll be straight. You know what I mean? But
and there goes. That's plays and parlays for you guys. We will hope that this situation works out for the best for Trav. Only God knows. Praise and parlays.